Welcome everyone back here to the Pillar to Post channel. My name is Pete Wall, and this is your update on how the fasting is going. I'm not going to talk about the weight loss yet. Now I want to get by some misconceptions on why I'm doing this. Some people believe that I'm doing it simply to lose weight. Um, when it comes to health, that would probably be the number one reason. Yes, I'm using it to lose weight. The water fasting not easy. Okay, anyone that says it is easy, it's not. I did a 10-day one. I say it was easy because um, just for some reason it just came naturally for me. It felt good. The better I felt, the more I wanted to continue. And I was actually disappointed in myself when I stopped that 10-day fast. I would have liked to have continued a little bit further. Um, so it isn't easy because, like me, I am the main cook of the family. I've got a wife and I've got three kids. And I have that need when I see them not eating properly to make something good for them to eat. And so it makes it harder to continue your fast when you're cooking food for your loved ones, and it's not it's not easy to work through those hunger pangs at times when you're doing so. But what gets me through it is, one, I know I need to get healthier, and I have tried so many different ways to lose weight. I have tried to get back into exercising. I have tried to walk more. Now, when you have conditions like I do, where your body's been brutalized from an accident and things just don't work the way they're supposed to anymore, like my legs or my shoulder or my back, even, there are a lot of things I do to this day that I shouldn't be doing, but I know I have no choice. If I want it done, I have to do it, and I pay for it. So I'll be off my feet for a couple of days afterwards, and it's the way it's worked out a few times. But am I doing this for attention? Absolutely not. I'll tell you that right now. I don't do things for attention. I do things because, one, they need to be done. Two, I know I'm in a bad spot. You know, anyone can go and say, we're doing a 30-day fast, and they'll be eating behind the camera regardless. Me, it is strictly bottled water. I take a couple of vitamins every day, and I take a little bit of lemon in my water every now and then, as well as some cayenne pepper, some ginger every now and then to help my stomach. But other than that, there is no food going into this body, not for these 30 days. Um, I recently went through a sleep study, and I just went in this week for the update on it, where they basically just disclose how bad things were, how good things were. I was the worst case that that place has seen in quite some time. Um, the amount of oxygen that your body's supposed to have while you're sleeping, I was down below 50%. I was actually below 30%. And that is a, a lot of oxygen that isn't getting to your heart, that isn't getting to your brain. And so your body's struggling while you're sleeping. They said I woke up in 4.5 hours. I woke up over 250 times. All right, that's your body waking up. You're not realizing your body's waking up that often, but your body's waking up, kicking itself out of REM sleep because it's struggling. I stopped breathing. I can't even remember the amount of times that they said I stopped breathing. It was bad. Um, and when you stop breathing, that means there's zero oxygen getting into your system. And if anyone remembers, this year they diagnosed me with a form of leukemia, which thankfully was taken away, and they did a little bit more research and found out it was due to my sleep apnea, that my blood was getting too thick. There wasn't enough oxygen getting to my blood, and so my red blood cells were overproducing, and making my heart work harder. They were worried about blood clots. They were worried about me stroking out. They were worried about me having a heart attack. And the biggest reason that a lot of people have for sleep apnea is their weight. Now, I have underlying issues as well. I have a damaged nose from the accident, and that is when the sleep apnea began, was in 1998, when I was hit by the drunk driver. Um, it's there's a lot of conditions that I deal with. Lymphedema, where your legs swell up to the point where your skin starts breaking open and the water that your body's retaining starts seeping through those cracks. It gets ugly. Now, thankfully, it hasn't gotten that bad in quite a few years, but I still deal with the massive swelling and the pain, the nerve damage that I acquired, not just with diabetes, but from the 7 operations on my leg and the accident in itself that started it all. One thing I've noticed with water fasting is the swelling goes down quite a bit in my legs. The pain I endure lessens. It's more tolerable. I can deal with it more. And I feel better. A lot of people might not understand that. They might think that, it's like you're starving yourself. And believe me, you are not starving yourself. Your body is still feeding. It's more or less cannibalizing itself, though. And, and that means that you have enough fat on your system, in your body, that your body doesn't require food being shoved down its throat. It's eating what's already there, that's already causing you a lot of issues. So I've had a lot of success. I've taken about a month off of doing any kind of intermittent fasting or fasting at all, due to life getting so hectic, and you're on the road so often, and you're stopping at fast food joints so that way the people with you can eat, and then you're looking and it's like, well, fuck this, you're tired of it, so you start eating along as well. I'm using fasting to build more self-control as well. So that way, when we do have to stop at a fast food joint, I don't have to order it. Okay? I don't need to order it because my body doesn't need to eat at that time. It just wants to eat because it smells food, it sees food, therefore, it wants food. And being diabetic, on top of everything, is not a good thing when you are eating things, especially from a fast food joint. Now, I've curbed that a lot. Um, I'll more than likely go for a salad rather than a burger at a fast food joint, but it's not to say that I haven't been enjoying my burgers as well. Um, it's it's not an easy life, and then when you get sick and your body begins to slowly, almost like decay in a way, you've let yourself go to a point where um, your body just does what it does, and you feel sluggish, you're tired. Going up the stairs or getting out of bed or even just going outside for some fresh air is too much work. And I've done that for quite a few years. I gave up on myself. I gave up on myself not just because of depression, not because of anxiety, but you hear doctors and you hear family tell you, don't worry about it, you can't do it anyway, your body can't handle it. Or You know you're not supposed to be doing stuff like that. So don't do it at all. You know, it's like everyone's telling you to give up. And that is where that's the point I got to when I started this fasting. It felt like everyone around me was telling me to give up. Don't worry about it. You can't handle that anyway. Don't worry about it. Your body can't do it. And in the back of my head, it's screaming. My mind is screaming, saying that yes, you can. You just have to do it in a different way. There's a lot of people that'll say, it's mind over matter, mind over substance, mind over pain. And in a lot of ways, I have to agree with them because just working out on the truck and the Studebaker, I had to load up the box of the truck on my own. Now, I hurt myself doing it and I struggled with it, but I did it. I took it off the truck on my own. I loaded it up on the second truck on my own. You know, it, it's sometimes you have to bury the things that are causing you to say no, don't do it, and do it anyway. And water fasting is a lot like that. A lot of people say, oh, it takes a lot of self control. Yes, it takes a lot of self control to continue past, like I would say, the first initial 3 to 5 days, probably the hardest of water fasting. After you get past that initial 5 days, your body just tells you, it's like, I'm not hungry. Especially if you're overweight. I'm not telling anyone to do what I'm doing. That is one thing I will tell you right now. I will never tell anyone to do it. But if you've been struggling with your weight, you've been struggling with health, and you need to find a different way, water fasting might be one of those. Do your research first, however. There's a lot of research out there. There's a lot of doctors out there that'll tell you don't do it. It's bad for you, this and that. There are doctors out there that agree with you fully, and they have done enough studies to prove that water fasting does help the body. It does help cure some illnesses, and it does help repair some of the damage you've done to your body. And I've done a lot of damage to my body. Um, so I started off with this water fast. And I'm going for 30 days. Now, it's not to say I'm going to get to 30 days. It's not saying that I won't get to 30 days and push to do longer. But that is my goal, is 30 days. No food, just water, some vitamins, some apple cider vinegar, and some cayenne pepper, some ginger, and, go for it. And I'm going to go as long as I can. And I started off back at 304 pounds. By day 2, I was at an even 300. And now it is day 3. Day 3 has brought me down to 295 pounds. Now, the last time I weighed myself, I was at, like before this fast, I was at 298 pounds. That is when I stopped the 10-day fast. So I got to my goal. I was below 300 pounds, and I only gained back 6 pounds since then, and that is because I've been eating. But because of the water fasting that I have already done, it's helped my glucose levels right themselves. I'm no longer on insulin. I'm no longer on metformin. I'm no longer on Januvia. Those are the three meds I was on for my diabetes when I started all this, and my sugar levels stay between 4.5 and 7. And then when I eat, they go up to a max about 10 to 12, but within an hour and a half and 2 hours, they're back down in that golden ratio between 4.5 and 7. So, anyone out there, And I've had doctors tell me, and try and convince me, don't do it or stop doing it because you're going to hurt yourself. You're going to be here. We're going to have to operate on you because your intestines and this and that, blah, blah, blah. Okay. They'll use a case study where it was a woman that was 100 pounds soaking wet who attempted to do a 30-day dry fast. That means no water, not even showering for 30 days. I'm sorry, but a woman that weighs, or anyone that weighs 100 pounds, has nothing on their body to live off of. Okay? They have no fat. So the body's going to start cannibalizing muscle, going to cannibalize organs. Okay? That's just stupidity. Okay? This is why I spent the time doing research. I've talked to people. I have watched other people on YouTube that have done this. And I have asked questions when needed to. And to find out the proper way to do it, the safe way to do it. There's a Dr. Young from here in Toronto, Canada, that has done major case studies on fasting and intermittent fasting. He has the research out there. Read it, listen to it, do what you need to do to get to your place where you're ready for it. Now, a 30-day fast after a month of not doing any type of fasting at all, it is going to be a bit of a struggle. But I have the determination, I have the will, and I have the need to have to do it. And when it comes to my health, living a longer life for my wife, for my kids, you can't argue with the success that I've already seen from it and the hundreds, if not thousands, of other people that are doing it now. So this is day 3. Like I said, today it was 295. I'll do another update in a day and a half. Now, you're not always going to see big losses. At the beginning, you'll see it for a few days where you'll get big losses, like 4 or 5 pounds, sometimes 6. I think the biggest loss I had was 7 pounds in one night. But then it'll slow down a little bit, and it'll go down to 1 or 2 pounds a day, half a pound a day. Don't be worried about it. The way I look at it, you're losing a pound a day. Okay, you're losing that 1 pound a day, which you were gaining probably 2 pounds a day before you started. When I did my 10-day fast, I was like, holy shit, like, wow, 4 pounds today, 6 pounds the other day, 7 pounds, and then all of a sudden it got to that day where it slowed right down, and it's like I looked at the scale, it's like I didn't even lose half a pound. What the hell? What's going on here? I'm not eating anything, and to me, from what I've read a lot as well, is eventually your body just slows down with losing the weight a little bit. You still lose weight, but by the 3rd week, you'll barely see any signs of losing weight at all. And they call that shrink week, where your body, your body will start shrinking because of the weight loss, and the skin will begin to tighten, regain its elasticity and whatnot. So if you do it, don't be afraid when you start losing only like half a pound a day or 1 pound a day. Keep going with it. Also, stop if you start feeling sick. Like right now, I am sick. I've got a bad cold. I'm starting to get over it, which I enjoy. But, when you physically feel sick from the fasting, don't be afraid to stop. Okay? Like, if you're feeling like crap, you need to stop right then and there. And that's what I plan on doing with this 30-day fast. If I get to a point where I feel ill from it, where I feel something's not right, I will put the brakes on and I will stop the 30-day fast. But my biggest goal is to get past that 10 days. That's where I got the last time. 10 days. It felt easy once I got past the initial week. So I'm going to get past the 10 days. Maybe I get up to 15, I have to stop. Maybe I get up to 20, I have to stop. Either way, as long as it's doing me good, I'm going to continue with it. Um, also a person to check out if you want to see really big success stories. This guy was almost 600 pounds. I think he was about 550, 530 pounds. He dropped down. He did 100 and I believe it was 120 days of water fasting. And he dropped down to, I believe it was under 300 pounds. It was about 280, 290, and he's still doing it. He's actually doing a water fast right now. He's called The Fasting Fat Man here on YouTube. You want to check him out if you're really interested in seeing some big success stories. Um, the Fasting Fat Man, his name is John. He calls himself Big John. Um, Clear success story. Um, so check him out here on YouTube as well if you want some good info on how he did his fast, as well as there is a channel called Alternative Health. This guy has done a major amount of research into fasting, as well as done a lot of fasting himself. Done 30 days, I believe. He's done some dry fasting as well as some other types of fasting. Check these channels out, folks, if you're really interested in getting involved with the fasting bit and you're having health issues as well as overweight. I started this at um, almost 350 pounds. I was 337 pounds when I first started this. That was a couple of months ago, and I'm back down to 295. Let's see where I go and how long I can handle this 30-day fast. I want to thank you all for joining me. Once again, thank you all for the support you've lent me, given me, and encouragement you've given me as well. It means a lot. It does. And I'll keep you updated. Like I said, this at the initial beginning, every other day I'll do an update, and then it'll be once a week. Once I get past the roughest days, and I'll discuss more about other issues that occur during your water fasting that you don't need to be afraid of, but you need to worry about them, because if you are not close to a bathroom at some points, you better have a pair of extra clothes along with you. But yeah, that's it for now. Like I said, today, this morning, the weigh in was 295 pounds. And I haven't been able to get to a dollar store to get the measuring tape at all yet, so I haven't been able to do any measurements. So for my next update, I'll make sure I have measurements for you, let you know where I'm at size wise and that, and go from there as well. So have a great day, have a great weekend. I'll be seeing you later on tonight with some RWO action. But for now, I am out of here.